Hello, welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more. My name is Nancy, and I'll begin this live stream at the 2-minute mark. If you can hear me, I would greatly appreciate a thumb up or anything in the chat so that I know you can hear me. Because I've been messing around with this YouTube and the live, and everything might be messed up. So I got to figure that out. We're at the countdown of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello. Once again, welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more, taught by me, Nancy. Before we begin this tarot live stream, I like to submit my personal plugs to you. The first thing is, of course, is that I'm a tarot reader, so you can feel free to order your own personal tarot reading at any time by contacting me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. All the details that are associated with ordering your own personal reading is actually below this live stream or any other live stream and or video I make. At this time, I'd like to ask you to please, if you enjoy the content, to like it. I ask you to share my channel with others. And if you haven't, I also ask you to subscribe to my channel. Once subscribed to my channel, I ask you to click the bell so you'll be notified when I go live, whenever I go live or upload a video. As mentioned before I made my great appearance, I've been messing around with this YouTube and this YouTube streaming software. So I need to know if you can see me clearly and hear me clearly. Because I may have very well just messed up everything, and all you're actually getting is either my voice, you can't see me, or you may see me and I'm just lip syncing, that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm going to move forward with the assumption that you can see me and hear me. How do you mend a broken heart? This is going to be a storyline tarot reading. But before I read the tarot cards for each zodiac sign, I'm first going to do a reading. And the reading is from Mr. Al Green, Reverend Al Green. In the 1970s, I do believe, Al Green wrote a song entitled, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? And so I just want to quote the lyrics to the song. I won't try to sing it. I don't want to hurt your ears. And I can't play it because of YouTube's policies and things like that. So all I'm left with is doing what? Quoting the song, the lyrics, citing the lyrics. After that, we're going to go into talking about being broken-hearted. And then we're going to read the tarot cards. So, hello. Lyrics to How Can You Mend a Broken Heart by Mr. Reverend Al Green. It says, I can think of younger days when living for my life was everything a man could want to do. I could see tomorrow, but I was never told about the sorrow. And how can you mend a broken heart? And how can you stop the rain from falling down? How can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go around? How can you mend this broken man? How can a loser ever win? Please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again. I can still feel the breeze that rustles through the trees. What just happened? I'll keep reading. That rustles through the trees and misty memories of days gone by. We could never see tomorrow. No one said a word about the sorrow. And how can you mend a broken heart? How can you stop the rain from falling down? How can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round? How can you mend this broken man? How can a loser ever win? Please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again. Now that was the lyric. That was the lyrics to the song "How Do You Mend a Broken Heart" by Al Green. I'm sorry about the glitch or whatever happened. Something happened on my side that disrupted me in my reading, so I do apologize. Now at this time we're gonna go ahead and talk about if I can, paper's out of order. Okay. Let's see. Right now I like to point out different life experiences that can lead a person to being broken-hearted. It's not always about losing, someone that you love. A broken heart can occur through different life experiences. And so, at this point in time, I'm going to reflect upon some of those life experiences. The various life experiences that I have listed here that can lead a person to suffer a broken heart. Number one, of course, is relationship breakups. But a person can also suffer a broken heart through the death of a loved one. Then there's also the separation, just the near separation from a loved one. Imagine if you were in a relationship with a person that's in the military and they're sent off to another country to, do their services. That can lead a person to a broken heart. What about disappointment with one's relationships with another? It can just be about disappointment. Disappointment in what? Disappointment in your spouse, disappointment in your kids, disappointment in your co-workers, and especially if it's prolonged or it's really serious, it can lead a person to suffer brokenheartedness. Another way a person can, a life experience that can lead a person to suffer from brokenheartedness is disappointment as a result of not manifesting one's desired results. Meaning you got your hopes up, and if things don't turn out the way you had anticipated and or hoped, that can lead a person to brokenheartedness. The next way I have listed here that a person might end up experiencing brokenheartedness is because they are betrayed by a significant person in their lives, whether it's a parent, a spouse, a lover, a friend, co-worker, employer, etc. Just to be betrayed by someone that you have trusted can lead a person to suffer brokenheartedness. And I do believe the last example of a life experience a person can have that can lead them to suffer heartbreak is the loss and or delay in one's worldly treasures, like people losing their houses or their cars or their money or their health. Those are just some examples of the worldly treasures I'm speaking about that can be lost and or delayed or blocked out of your life that can lead a person to brokenheartedness. Why did I just shine light on some of the experiences a person can have that could lead them to suffer from a broken heart? It is to make you aware that a broken heart does not always occur only because of lost love relationships, or someone cheating on another, or leaving another, or divorcing another. Heartbreak can be triggered by a variety of life experiences. In short, heartbreak really seems like it occurs because we are so disappointed that something didn't go the way we had hoped. Bottom line. Okay. So when a person is brokenhearted, I believe there are 5 ways to heal or to recover from brokenheartedness. And so right now I'm going to talk about those 5 ways you can heal from brokenheartedness, no matter how it has been triggered in your life. The first step is to move forward and accept the change. What type of change? Whether the change is you broke up with somebody or they broke up with you. Accept the change. The change what? If someone has died that you loved. Accept the change. Accept what change? The separation between you and somebody that may have been, you figured very important or significant in your life. Accept the change. Accept the change what? Accept that you're disappointed about what's occurring in your relationship with another. Accept the change. Accept the fact. Accept the truth. Moving forward with the examples of the first step is accepting. Accept what? Accept that things didn't end up or manifest in the way you had liked or hoped. Accept if you've been betrayed by someone. And last but not least, accept what? Accept if there is some type of physical worldly loss you suffered, like losing your car or your home. Accept it. It's time to move on. That's step 1 in beginning the healing, or in the words of Reverend Al Green, beginning to mend a broken heart. Now, why would you want to just accept what has transpired? Something most likely out of your control. It is because there are benefits. What's the benefit? Well, acceptance allows you to successfully have the, when you accept things that have occurred that has led to a broken heart, it allows you to begin the healing process. And one of the first things you can do is you begin to kind of think straight. That's the first thing you need to do, is be able to think straight, to be practical, to have clear sightedness and discernment, being able to execute discernment. Why do you need this? It's so that you can make good choices from that moment forward. Let me try to restate what I'm saying. I'm saying sometimes when we are brokenhearted, it's not just that our hearts are broken. It seems like our minds or brains are broken. We can't think clear. And we don't think clear, we don't make good decisions. And when we don't make good decisions, we can get ourselves in a world of trouble. So the first thing is to accept the situation. That's what I missed. Acceptance. Many times a person doesn't accept what they don't want. They will not accept the loss. They won't accept the realization or the fact that something has been lost or has led them to broken heart. They just want to try to dismiss, whatever event has been triggered. Like, oh, they didn't break up with me, or oh, that person didn't die, or oh, we're not really separated. They don't want to accept that. And because the person won't even accept the initial trigger, then they are not allowing themselves to heal. They're not taking that first step to heal. And because they're not taking that first step, chances are that the person can't see clearly, and they're not going to make good decisions or practical decisions or wise decisions relative to what has happened. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Step 2, how to begin to mend a broken heart. This is going to be a tarot reading, but I'm just kind of laying a foundation and building to it. I will be reading for all 12 signs. Let's see if I can do all this in under 1 hour. Second step to mending a broken heart is answer this question. What is heartbreak? What is heartbreak really? I have identified heartbreak for what it really is, at least to me. Heartbreak is like this emotional tremor, or this emotional response. Emotional tremor as a result of what you mentally perceived in your physical experience that does not resonate with what you want, which you have anticipated, or what you thought the outcome should be. Let me see if I can say that clear, because you know me going back and forth between my notes and trying to improv. What am I saying? I'm saying once a person has suffered heartbreak, the first thing is to accept what has happened, whatever it is, whether somebody quit you, whether somebody passed away, whether somebody disappointed you, whatever the case may be, accept it for what it is. Just let it go and allow yourself to think clear and to make good decisions. And then, I know it's easier said than done. It's always easier said than done. I got that. And so you got to put that heartbreak into perspective. What is heartbreak? Why does it really feel like your heart is breaking? Why do you feel confused? What is it? What is it? It is your emotional response. It's like, to me, a heartbreak is like an alarm system. And what it's trying to do is get you to acknowledge what has happened. Gets you to acknowledge what doesn't resonate with you, so that you can do what? Move on. Move on. Free yourself up. And try not to stress yourself out about, the trigger till you becoming heartbroken. And so, and just understanding that the heartbreak, it is real. But again, it is just it's an emotional response that seems to manifest in the physical plane as well. And it's to like alert you and to keep you on your toes. It's like to wake you up. It's like someone like that Uranian energy, a sudden and shocking event to wake you up, to shake you, to point out something so that you can what? Revise your life. That's what heartbreak is. And the reason why heartbreak seems to go on and on and on is because the changes that you may need to make, or the revisions to your life that you may need to make, usually don't happen overnight. So every day, sometimes all night long, heartbreak seems to stay with you. And why is that? Once again, to keep you on your toes, to keep you revising your life until you get to a place where that alarm doesn't go off anymore. So you've been designed your life in order where you're comfortable. I don't know if I'm gonna move forward anyway. So it's about really coming to understand what heartbreak is. It's that alarm system to what? Keep you on your toes, get you busy so you can revise your life so that you can get to this healthy, safe, secure place. Another thing about heartbreak, to me, heartbreak is evidence that there is a divine, benevolent being that cares. And that divine, benevolent being created you and I, people, with that built-in alarm system that it is able to communicate with us through. Let me see if I can try to make that make sense. It is the individual that has a life experience that is disturbing to them, disappointing. It hurts, and ends up resulting in the person being heartbroken. That heartbreak is an alarm system or a tool that has been intentionally developed inside or created. I don't know why I get on here and can't talk, but made in our makeup is part of the human condition. And that heartbreak, the ability to have heartbreak, is a direct connection with divinity. Divinity says, oop, okay. It's like, how to say, when a person suffers heartbreak, you've been triggered. A person's been triggered. And once triggered, it's a portal that opens up between you and divinity. And that portal, or that connection, I'll say, between a person who is suffering from heartbreak and divinity is a connection or a portal in which divinity can minister to you. What do I mean by, divinity being able to minister to a person? I'm talking about, it's that conviction that you get. Heartbreak, being convicted, many of us look at negatively. I did it too. But when I looked at heartbreak for what it really was, this is in retrospect, I realized that at that time, in the periods of my life when I suffered heartbreak, it was this immediate portal or connection between me and divinity. And divinity talked to me and walked with me. Many times I didn't want to hear it because I was overtaken with grief. We'll talk about grief a little bit later on. But I also, in retrospect, realized the grief subsided when I was open to the messages that divinity was sending to me while I was in heartbreak. Let me see if I can make this make sense. Now, whoever is your higher self or your God that you confide in, that deity or entity or that divine being has many portals to interact with you. That's one thing I want you to know. Many portals. But that heartbreak has its own unique, it's glitching. Am I still here? I'm not even live. This is so interesting. I done messed up something. I knew I messed up something. I will put it back because I never had this happen. It say I'm live, but then it shows that I'm not live. What is it? It says started streaming 49 minutes ago. Okay, refresh the page, see what happens. And then, really don't know. I guess I'm here. Hopefully I'm here, y'all. Let me know. Hi, 1-2, how are you? I've been here behind the scenes. I always tell y'all, I'm right here behind the scenes. And so I'm trying to come. I got a couple of messages. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Can you hear me and see me? I assume that you can, because I think somebody been saying something like, we can't hear you or see you. I done messed up my live stream and stuff. And so I'm having a new experience. Some of it's reoccurring, some of it's new. Right now I'm trying to talk about brokenheartedness, because that's something that, a message that I, received or been having a conversation about with the spirits. So, and it talked about, when I did the last live stream, I cited Al Green and his album. And so after I did that, then I started really getting a lot of messages about heartbreak. Right now, I'm talking about heartbreak, and its unique connection. How it uniquely, it has its own connection. It's like this zip connection to divinity. Like when your heart is triggered, you know, trigger into heartbreak is this connection, direct connection to divinity. It ain't got nothing else to do with no other things you got going on. Immediately it's a ministry for a person and their heartbreak is what I'm trying to get to. And at that time, divinity, your higher self, whatever, begins to talk to a person and begins to minister to them to help them revise their life in a way that will bring a sense of peace. What I was saying is that many people ignore that ministry, that first step to healing, you know, the initial step to healing. Why? Because many times people are overtaken with grief, sadness, disappointment, etc., so they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear. But there's always this voice that is, hi, Angel Scorp. Heartbreak is a shock to your system. And that's why I was comparing it to Uranus, the Uranian energy. That is a sudden, abrupt event, and it immediately throws you into a state of confusion and not being able to think. And that's why I was sharing the first step to recovery is to accept whatever the trigger has been to a heartbreak, whether it's the death of someone, or somebody breaks up with you, or somebody disappoints you. In order to expedite healing, it's like just accept it. And then the next thing is to be able to understand what being broken heart is. Broken heart is that immediate boom connection due to the trauma. What do you say? Shock to your system. It's this electric, sudden. It's this sudden connection, but that is put in place between you and your higher self of divinity, however you like to label it, because our Creator knows that that is a shock to our system, and it immediately begins to try to minister to us to get us, you know, on our way to healing, to that safe place. But as I was saying, many times we don't want to hear it. We won't allow ourselves to hear it because we want to be overtaken with grief, or overtaken with grief because we feel hard and broken. You can get it and do it. I'm live. So, and I was saying step number 2 is to be able to identify what heartbreak is. I tried to simplify it, talking about the immediate connection with divinity so it can begin to minister to you. And then, let's see. Oh, another thing that purpose for heartbreak that I believe exists is that many times, like in love relationships, we're in a trance. We're in trance. We are mesmerized by the other. We are enchanted by them. And the heartbreak is what snaps us out of it. What you say, Angel Scorpio, shock to the system. It's sudden and it's abrupt. Hi, Asia. How are you? I miss y'all all. You know, and so the heartbreak jolts you out of that. And it takes you to a whole nother place. And in that place, you have a connection with your higher self or divinity, however you like to label it. At that time, it's up to you to accept the ministry that instantaneously begins. That's the first thing. And you can do so by accepting first what has been the trigger. And the reason why you accept it is, number one, so you won't be trying to keep pursuing that which is no more in your life, or does not want to be anymore in your life. You find, I'm so happy to hear that. It just started raining here where I am. And so all of a sudden, I'm getting sleepy. I'm feeling pretty good. Okay. Now, the next of this, I will be reading the tarot cards, but I kind of wanted to go in depth relative to heartbreak, because heartbreak is something else. Oh my God. Al Green said nobody ever told him about the sorrow. So, step number 3 to beginning to mend a broken heart is to commit to yourself. Be generous to yourself. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for what? For maybe trying again. Or for not being able to manipulate reality the way you would have liked to, or just being curious. Sometimes we're curious and we get ourselves into things. Forgive yourself. Or not having the answer to a circumstance and or situation. Maybe just couldn't see it clear. And maybe not being able to see it clear, you may have sparked your curiosity. And so you move forth into something that led to heartbreak. Forgive yourself. I mean, when I say commit to yourself and be generous with yourself, I'm talking about the third step to beginning to mend your broken heart can be about being patient with yourself. I know you've heard that before. I remember my first heartbreak. Oh my God, I remember it to this day. And my mama said, baby, I'm not going to tell you no lie. It ain't that easy. I do believe, on average, it could take about a year for a person to really get over somebody. And since that time, I don't know if it stands true for everybody, but for me, it does take about a year. And the people that I've witnessed that have suffered broken hearts, it literally takes about a year to get over a person. And in that year, you've been and went through I mean, if you just stick to it, I'm not talking about that in and out, calling, hanging up, having them drunk, moments where you're stalking your ex. I'm talking about when you really put your best foot forward in your effort. It seems to take about a year to get over a person, to get to this place of feeling, renewed, to really break the trance and to end the broken heart, to mend the broken heart. And I say about mending the broken heart and time. It takes time to mend the broken heart. And so every time you go back, every time you waddle in a memory, it keeps prying or wounding the heart. So give yourself time. Be patient with yourself. Understand this. Until you're willing to release that which was the trigger to a broken heart, there is no end to the pain. Let me try to restate that. If you keep calling, if you keep going, if you keep texting, if you keep stalking, you don't know when a heartbreak will end. Remember, the heartbreak is there to make you feel uncomfortable, to motivate you or inspire you to revise your life so you can get to a place that you're comfortable and secure. That whole time that you brokenhearted, divinity, God, all your higher self is trying to talk to you, is trying to minister to you in order to help you get to where you need to be secure, happy, and safe. But it don't push us to do nothing. We all got free will. So you can go against it if you want to. But if you go against it and you don't take the steps necessary to mend your broken heart and to end that, connection with divinity, that ministry, then you have no anticipated time to the end of your pain. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself, example, a year to be without that which is no more in your life or doesn't want to be any more in your life. Do you. Do whatever the ministry leads you to do. And as long as you stay on that course of action, it is guaranteed that there is an end date to the heartbreak and the associated pain. Hopefully I made that make sense, y'all. Let me know. The next thing, still on step 3 to mending a broken heart, is to nurture yourself. You're special. You are special. And it says, give yourself what you need. What you need in order to do what? Mend a broken heart. I just say give yourself what you need. Like the ex, you don't need that. Why don't you need that? Because it's going to amplify the broken heart. I said give yourself what you need to heal, to begin to mend a broken heart. Whether you need therapy, mental health, mental health or behavioral health, or whatever you call it. Excuse me. Spiritual guidance. Whether you need to go to your church minister, your big sister, get some spiritual guidance. Come to me here at Can Angels Fly, Tarot and more. Whatever you need. Whether you need to see a spiritual healer, you need some self-help books, go to the bookstore, read some self-help books, get you some guides that is all about loving you and redirecting your energy back on you. And if need be, always pray and meditate and do what? Clear your mind of anything that is against you mending your broken heart. The fourth step to mending a broken heart is understand this. There are 7.5 plus billion people in the world. You are not alone. Think of it. Be rational. There's 7.5 billion people in the world. You are not the only one going through heartbreak. Remember, heartbreak doesn't just occur because someone breaks off a relationship with you or divorces you. Heartbreak is triggered by many different life experiences, like the death of a loved one, like being disappointed by someone significant in your life. What other ways? Being betrayed by somebody significant in your life. Heartbreak can even occur because you lose a physical worldly treasure, such as a house or a car, something like that. You lose your savings or something. Heartbreak can occur by a variety of life experiences. You are not the only one. You are not alone. But isn't that a wonderful thought, to think that divinity has a special emergency line? When something traumatic happens, you're immediately connected to it, and it begins to minister to you. And we humans, people, we perceive heartbreak as something so negative when it is positive. It is trying to move us from something that is potentially detrimental or dangerous and or has ended into a new space of happiness, peace, tranquility, and safety, that in which we can step off from that. That's all that it is. Okay, all right. Now, the fifth way to mend a broken heart is to identify what's so special about you. What's so special about you? So, before I go into talking about what's so special about you, I need to back up and go through all the previous steps that I covered in order to make y'all got paper everywhere. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's make it make sense. Let's say, hypothetically, case scenario, a person in this world, loses somebody they love. It's sudden, unexpected. It's definitely not what they want. All of a sudden, the heartbreak sets in. And at the same time that heartbreak sets in, it begins to tell that person, hey, get on up, clean yourself up, go to work, get beautiful, get some exercise, move away from the circumstance and situation. But that person is so hurt, so shocked, so stunned, they can't believe it. They want to keep going back to it. They want to ask who, what, where, when, and why, and try to make things be the way they want it. But it's time for them to mend their broken heart. So when they get that message to say, hey, You got to start mending your broken heart. This is not the place that you're meant to be. So what I want you to do, person, is I want you to first accept what has happened. And I want you to understand heartbreak is me, divinity, talking to you, because I'm about to move you from this outdated circumstance, situation, and or person into a life of abundance. I want you to commit to yourself and be generous with yourself as I walk and talk to you. I'm going to minister to you. I want you to love on yourself. I want to forgive yourself for trying so hard. I want you to be patient with yourself while I'm working with you. I want you to take care of yourself. If you need some help, because, you know, I'm here in the spirit. If you need something in the physical, go on to your church. Go see your girlfriend. Go to therapy. Go ahead. And then understand that you're not alone. There are other people. You can go join a group. Or just have this understand that you're not alone. This is a part of being in a human condition. And there's nothing wrong with you. And then the next thing is, as you move into work on yourself to mend this broken heart, I need you to also identify what's so special about you. And I need you to go partake in that and enjoy your interests, your hobbies, like cooking. You know, put your love into cooking. Have you ever really just been in this happy place, you know, when life is good, we'll say, as an example, and you might be a person that enjoys cooking, and it's a beautiful spring or summer day, and the air blowing through the kitchen, and you mixing and blending and cutting and chopping, and you make this culinary art piece. That is what I mean when I say what's special about you. And whatever it is, get into it. Partake in it. You know, whether it's cooking or writing or music or dancing. It says you have the potential to be a master. A master. And what is the final step in helping one mend their broken heart is to focus your energy, your attention, and your passion on that which you have the potential to be a master in. Examples: cooking, music, dancing, singing, I don't know, being a seamstress, whatever is your interest or your hobby. That's the prime time. That is, I can never tell the messages the way I sing it, but it's the prime time to master your skills and talents. I don't know how to get it. But before I go ahead and read the tarot cards, I want to try one more time to articulate what I was shown from Spirit about heartbreak. It's like heartbreak, it has this like dual nature. We don't expect it. We don't anticipate it. We don't want it. But it happens. And the heartbreak is an alarm. And it automatically connects us to divinity, all in our higher selves. And our higher selves begin to minister to us. And the ministry is about moving us from an uncomfortable place in life, away from a person that may no longer want us, away from not wobbling, but, you know, trying to hold on to the past or past memories. You know, again, it could be someone that has died that leads a person to heartbreak. So the heartbreak itself is attempting to move you from that uncomfortable place. And ultimately, it's trying to move you into or advance you into your best self, your self that's more proficient. So ultimately, heartbreak is about getting you to become your masterful self. Relative to astrology, it's like reaching the north node, I do believe, of Rahu. Reaching the north node, it helps to propel you there. I hope that makes sense. So it's divinity, and it's the more masterful or advanced you. That's what it's for. Yeah. Anyway, all right, now. Remember, this tarot reading is about how to mend a broken heart. Let's see what's going on here. We're going to start with Pisces. So Pisces, let's see. Pisces, let's see. Y'all thank you. Hi, Val. I was watching one of my old videos the other day, and I see your name. I said, oh, I haven't seen Val in a minute. How you doing? You okay? Been a long time. Didn't hear from you. God bless you. God bless you too. I'm going in 5 years healing myself. I'm going in 5 years healing myself. I started as follow seconds turns into minutes. Right. The seconds turn into minutes. Minutes turn into hours. Hours turn into days. And days turn into weeks. It does. Or weeks turn into months. And as you heal, it's another year. That is so beautifully said. Thank you for sharing that. With prayers and family, you found myself with the love of life. You're right. Dancing, singing, and even crying. You will pick yourself up. Amen. It is true. It is true. So true. That was so poetically written. Thank you, Val, for sharing that. Was that heartbreak? Oh my God. I remember my first heartbreak. I wanted to die. I thought I would die. I thought my heart was really broken and I could not think. I felt like I had done something wrong. I felt like I wasn't, worth anything. And I had these questions. I was like, why? What just happened? I didn't even know what happened. And I learned that sometimes you just can't get some answers to stuff. And not only can you not get no answers, you better do whatever it takes in order for you, yourself, to live the most magnificent life. So when you look back, you can be happy and you don't have any regrets about wasting time trying to persuade somebody to love you or trying to hold on to somebody that has died and gone on to the next realm. I mean, it's a enjoy your life. Use heartbreak as a way to be a catalyst to become your best you. Because that heartbreak, baby, if you allow that spirit, if you misinterpret that experience, I'm not going to say heartbreak is a spirit. Heartbreak is an experience. If you misinterpret or misuse that experience, you can look back, later in your life and have a lot of regrets. A whole lot of regrets. Yeah. And thank you for sharing. You says you having bad connection. Pray for us in Puerto Rico. I am praying. And thank you. I'm having a bad connection. I can believe it because I've been messing around with this live stream set up and I did something. Next time I go live, I'm going to change it back because usually my live stream is pretty smooth, but I keep seeing some glitches. So I will definitely set it back if I can remember how. If I can remember how. Let's see if we can get through this though. Okay. Uh-oh. Alright. We're going to start with Pisces. Pisces, your motto is I believe. I feel like 3 cards. Is 2 for the top, 1 for the bottom. Let's see, Pisces. We have the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is in reverse. For many Pisces, there's someone significant in your life that is not reciprocating, the affections toward you. And or you're not able to connect with them. Possibly keeping with the theme of having life experiences that lead to a broken heart. You may be separated from them and or have lost them to death, and so this is what the Page of Cups represents. And he's young, it's new, it's fresh. The next card is the 8 of Cups, and it goes right into the first step of beginning to mend your broken heart, Pisces. If it is not Pisces, then this is someone who is significant in Pisces' life that's having this experience relative to Pisces. I gotta learn to say these things much better. And it talks about, okay, when this person separates from you or is away from you, or there's some loss of someone who's significant in your life, even though you can't see the whole story, you go ahead and you are able to move away from it. You're able to let it go. You don't get stuck. Your final card, Pisces, is the Tower card in reverse. And the Tower card in reverse talks about how it's like you, Pisces, understood. You understood that trigger. You understood when that person passed away that it was time to move on with life. You understood that. You understood when that person broke up with you or walked out on you or demanded a divorce. You understood that trigger, and you willingly just, walked away from the situation. You were in full acceptance of it. The Tower card just shows that the turmoil or the heartache that you may be dealing with is not the direct result of anything that you personally did, but it is something out of your control. And the positive thing here, Pisces, is that you are not procrastinating and starting the healing process. Beautiful, beautiful. Not procrastinating and starting the healing process. I like to see that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, your motto is I believe. Okay. Pisces, your motto is I believe. That being your motto, is that right? With that being your what I believe being your motto, Pisces, your motto is suggesting that you believe in like everything happens for a reason, and that there is divine timing and there is a reason for things. And so like you're not going to ask the questions. You're not going to harbor on something. It is like it is what it is. That's what you believe. You believe like it is what it is. And so all you have to do is what? Move forward. Move forward and keep it moving and begin the healing process. Okay. All right. Now, Aquarius. Oh, that spell right. That looks so funny to me. What's going on in Puerto Rico? Do y'all have fires or something and it ain't stopped yet? What's going on there? I heard something about Puerto Rico a couple of weeks ago. But there's so much going on all over the world. It's insane. I knew I couldn't do this in under an hour. I knew I couldn't. I'm listening, Val, or looking Val. But I'm going to move on with Aquarius for right now. 3 cards, 2 from the top, 1 from the bottom. How do you mend a broken heart? Aquarius, your motto is I know. First thing you have is the Queen of Cups, Aquarius. And the Queen of Cups, represents the water signs. And the water signs are Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. These are people that feel. They're very sensitive, often intuitive, relative to circumstances, situation, and people. Primarily a person's emotional state. You can kind of feel the room, feel what's going on. And the next card is the the 8 of Cups in reverse, pointing back to the 7 of Cups. And I feel like I'm guilty of this, that I am a very sensitive person, and maybe because I'm an Aquarius based on this. And so when something occurs and it has an impact upon me emotionally, I can feel, even if a person doesn't open their mouth, like we know, when I say we, I'm talking about Aquarius, is know what's going on or what the undertone is or what the hidden emotional state is or the hidden intent. The Queen of Cups represents that intuitiveness, and so we're locked in and possibly will not let go, 2 of Cups, of a circumstance, a situation at all. We're just holding on to it, harboring it, the circumstance, situation, whatever it is, that is the trigger to heartbreak. because we know. Hi, how you doing? Welcome here to Can Angels Fly Tarot and More. I'm Nancy, and right now I'm doing a general reading for all zodiac signs relative to how to mend a broken heart. And we've done Pisces, and now we're on Aquarius. And so the Eight of Cups in reverse talks about how Aquarius is, or someone significant or relevant in Aquarius life, won't remove themselves from a relationship. They'll keep going back. And let me try to make it make sense. See, I'm about to make myself make sense now. When something happens, like a heartbreak, a relationship breakup, or a death, or being disappointed, or whatever the case may be, Aquarius already has this knowing what is pending. And many times, based on what I've experienced, is that people don't speak what they really feel. They don't, their intent, or they don't speak their truth. Like relationship breakup, they won't say they don't want to be in a relationship anymore. They'll just break up with you. Death occurs. Well, death don't announce itself to nobody. You just die. You know what I'm saying? Somebody moves to disappoint you. They just don't put forth the effort. And so Aquarius has this knowing that like death is coming, might perceive something, or that a breakup is coming, might perceive something, but is not truly clear about it. And because Aquarius is not truly clear about it, Aquarius won't remove themselves from the situation even after the trigger, the breakup, the death, the disappointment has happened. Aquarius still holds on to the partnership. I get it. Because we already be functioning, knowing it's like it already has taken place for many Aquariuses. Whatever the trigger to the heartbreak has already occurred. Aquarius knows. So Aquarius already knows it's happened. They might not know exactly what it is, but they know it has happened and it's continued to live. Live a life like, how can I say this? Let me give an example. Imagine a man and woman are married, and the man secretly doesn't want to be in a romantic relationship with Aquarius, but they're married. And so a marriage is not just romance, it is also like a business partnership. Aquarius becomes aware or knows that their significant other doesn't want that romantic relationship with them anymore. And of course, Aquarius is, as an example, could pick that up because the spouse may not be as frisky, as they once were with Aquarius. So Aquarius knows this. And so once Aquarius is aware of this, long before their significant other breaks up with them or says they want a divorce, Aquarius has already begun to live and interact with their significant other based on the partnership. You get what I'm saying? Am I making this make sense? So Aquarius no longer is even themselves are not interested in the sexual relationship or the romantic relationship. They stay in a marriage and they keep functioning in a way as the business partner would. Making sure the job is done, meeting the demands of life, which are necessary, their obligations. And so Aquarius will stay. And then the time will come that the significant other will, break up with them, ask for a divorce, or whatever the trigger is to the heartbreak. And then Aquarius suffers this tremendous heartbreak because they started a whole new life without their significant other. You know what I'm saying? Started a whole new life with their significant other. I don't know if I made that make sense, but that's a whole deep concept, and it makes sense to me. To start a whole new concept. So it's almost like, and try to clarify, it's almost like the significant other, keeping with the example, could have come to Aquarius and say, I don't want to be romantic. We can cohabitate, be roommates, work together. Aquarius been like, I've been doing that, and kept walking. But when a person comes and doesn't even like have that as an alternative, that's what is the trigger to an Aquarius broken heart. So how does Aquarius, relative to, you know, that scenario, begin to mend their broken heart? Is to do what? Accept what is the trigger. That person wants to end a relationship or a divorce or the separation. Aquarius must accept that and not try to like force that new perspective on their partner. I hope I made that make sense. Oh, that made it make sense. Okay, we're about to move forward on to the next sign. And the next sign is Capricorn. Let me see if I can change this. I hope it don't do a lot of glitching. Okay. We'll have to put the glass on. Let me just click that. Let's see. Uh-oh. Okay. Alright, Capricorn. This is how do you mend a broken heart tarot reading. Capricorn, your motto is I use. It's going to be 2 cards from the top, 1 from the bottom. Let's see what's going on. And I'll try to keep that a little shorter. But sometimes I get so excited when the messages start really coming through. 2 from the top and 1 from the bottom. Aquarius. First card is the 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Swords, that's a Capricorn, Aquarius. It's Capricorn. Capricorn, the 3 of Swords represents your immediate environment, the community that you live in, or people that you frequent, such as siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, people from your neighborhood and community. This 3 of Swords suggests gossip, love triangulations, objections to like your thoughts, your ideas, or your plans. This is how do you began to mend the broken heart. So we can really look at this 3 of Swords more like a love triangulation. It's you and somebody that you've been vibing well with, and then a third party comes in and breaks that up one way or another. The next card is the 3 of Wands. It's a lot of instability surrounding you, Capricorn. The 3 of Wands is talking about your energy and how it's possibly unstable. And what are you unstable in? Let me give you a scenario. It's like, okay, Capricorn, you with someone special in your life, and you know you chilling, but you have another significant other, and that significant other catches you with the one you went, like love triangulation, and all of a sudden that environment, you cool one minute, you all lovey-dovey or whatever, you ain't gotta be lovey-dovey, you can just be with somebody special and significant in your life, you enjoying them, enjoying the conversation, out driving, sitting at the park, or doing whatever you do, y'all do, and then the other person that you got on the side ends up being in the same environment, in the same scene. They catch you. You know, they catch a red handed doing whatever, you know. And the offense is they think they're the only one. And they find out that they're not the only one. I'm trying to make this make sense. They find out that you are, you know, you love somebody else, you care about somebody else, you spend time with somebody else. And it becomes, that environment becomes very unstable. You know what I'm saying? Very unstable, potential for hostility, cussing, fussing, love triangulation, events, those kind of things. Your last card is the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands represents the fire signs energy, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now, what I can say about the fire sign energy is that it can be fierce and it can be violent. And this is the Queen, so it's receptive, meaning the person had to pull something in and they pulled something in that triggered them. And what triggered? We're talking about the 3 of Swords and the 3 of Wands. Unstable energy. This is a person that start cussing, raising hell, and all kind of stuff. And this is interesting because it's like in line with Aquarius. Aquarius's readings suggest that Aquarius kind of handles things more calmly and coolly. But relative to you, Capricorn, and the scenario surrounding you, a person handles the situation with hostility and aggression. fights, arguments, cussing, backstabbing, backbiting, gossip. And the reason they're doing so because they're not accepting the trigger that leads them to being brokenhearted. So they're not listening to divinity. They're not listening to their high self. They're not on the road to recovery or to mending a broken heart. Okay. And so the question is, how do you mend a broken heart? Well, the first thing is that you got to, number one, what? Stop and accept whatever the trigger is. Here, the person's not accepting it. Accept the trigger. So, and then what? Allow yourself to be communed with by your higher self and or divinity to help guide you out of a very potentially detrimental circumstance or situation or environment into a what? Safe haven. All right, after Capricorn is I use. You better use your common sense, because that sounds like a volatile situation. Capricorn, use your common sense. Oh Lord, the baby, the dog about to start. I tried. The whole time she was taking her nap, I tried, y'all. And she up here visiting Granny for an extended amount of time. Let's see. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I gotta. And the dog wanna act the fool too. Oh. Glory. Sagittarius. Okay, this is how do you mend a broken heart? Tarot reading. Right now, this reading is for Sagittarius. 2 cards from the top, 1 from the bottom. Sagittarius, your motto is I seek. Two from the top, 1 from the bottom. Sagittarius. You have the Queen of Cups returns. And remember, the Queen of Cups is a receptive energy. It's picking up on something. It's receiving some information, external information. This is about love. This is about connection. This is about attachment. This is about emotionally sensitive circumstances and or situations. The next card is this is the Empress in reverse. The Empress in reverse suggests a lack of fertility and or fruits. It is not a rendering fruits. There's a lack of abundance or balance is the word I want to say. A lack of balance, meaning we're really not getting along. We're really not getting along. And that is to the back of the Queen of Cups. I am picking up a lot of energy since Pisces, so Sagittarius, thus far as Sagittarius through Pisces, that people are not accepting the triggers that occur in their lives that lead them to heartbreak. When I say people, I'm talking about the people that create humanity. The signs Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are not accepting that triggers that lead to heartbreak. Whether the trigger is a breakup of a romantic relationship or a relationship or a marriage or the death of someone and or just being disappointed, let down, betrayed, backstabbed. We're not dealing with these type of life situations or life experiences well. Number one, we are not accepting what we are experiencing at all. Your last card, Sagittarius, is the Magician, and the Magician talks about having the ability to manipulate circumstances and or situations in your favor and or people. So I gotta stop Sagittarius because I got to go back and talk about Aquarius. Aquarius may deal with a circumstance, situation, a trigger, a breakup, a death, a loss, betrayal, and maybe a more calmer way. Trying to, did somebody just fall? She's not screaming. Y'all know I'm live, right? I try so hard. It might just sound like they fail. You know, Aquarius will try to deal with the trigger in a very mature way, almost like ignoring it and trying to adjust their life and the lifestyle in a way that will keep them moving, like in a relationship with a person, or keep them moving in a way they don't have to acknowledge that somebody has left or betrayed them or died. Then when it got to Capricorn, I can't remember Pisces or Rip, but when it got to Capricorn, now we're talking about a person having that sudden event, that trigger, and the person just responding violently, aggressively, being very vengeful, and kind of things like that. Now when we get to Sagittarius, we got a person here that thinks they can change stuff. This is the kind of person with Sagittarius, I can change that person. They say they want to break up with me. No, they don't. I can change them. I can do better. I can dress better. I can give them the better sex. I can, cook them food. I can be a groupie to them. I can make them change. I can fight them. I can run off the ex. This is what the Sagittarian energy suggests. And it almost seems like you're seeking to redeem yourself relative to, how do you mend a broken heart? Now, that's the question I've been asking. How do you mend a broken heart? It doesn't seem like we want our hearts to be mended. We want to stay in our misery. That's deep. Okay. Trying to take too long. Now is Scorpio. Let's see. And that's a whole nother thing. That's some deep stuff. This is not what I was expecting to see. But very interesting. Ouch. Not what I was expecting to see at all. Are we in love with our pain? What is this? I ain't being funny. What is this? Not what I was expecting to see. Anyway, how do you mend a broken heart? This reading is for Scorpio. Scorpio, your motto is I desire. What is this? Oh my goodness. Not what I thought it was going to be. I'm learning too now, y'all. So I'm about to read this and see what it got to say. Okay. Okay, well, two fell from the top, one from the bottom. Scorpio. Let's see. First card is the Hierophant in reverse, going against tradition. Going against what you were taught by, your mom, your dad, grandparents, going against the church, going against the government, just doing your own thing, moving to the beat of your own drum, going outside the authority figure. I feel rebellious, being a renegade. The next card is advancing forward, moving forward aggressively, forcefully. The wands can be about being assertive, direct, and then the next card is, just say, Seven of Wands. I can't see very well. Seven of Wands in reverse, pointing back to the Six of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands talks about a partnership. The day-to-day partnership you actively doing and going, and I'm not getting this. Okay, let me sit down for a minute. Because now we're talking about how do you mend a broken heart. This is Scorpio. Your motto is I desire. And it's okay, so it's saying Scorpio, you execute the fire energy, even though you're water, very sensitive to the circumstance, the situation, you feel it. It is deep. Either you can be very manipulative, or you can be very reserved and secretive, mysterious. And so that's your base energy. But rather than going to those energy, you become very assertive, moving forward into the partnership. It almost seems like asserting yourself somewhere you shouldn't be. Oh, asserting yourself somewhere you shouldn't be. Asserting yourself. I got an idea. Asserting yourself in a place you should not be. We don't want to heal. What the hell going on here? We don't want to heal. Right. Wow. Yeah. 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 And I say yeah because it's like we don't want to heal. Now I'm on Scorpio, and this Hierophant in reverse, the Ace of Wands, and the Seven of Wands in reverse, pointing back to the Six of Wands. Remember, the Seven of Wands represents the partnerships that we're actively in. It's in reverse, so it's a partnership that a person has most recently been involved in that isn't moving forward. It's going in reverse, pointing back to the Six of Wands, talking about your day-to-day routine and the activities and the people you engage with. Who has Scorpio been engaging with regularly? It is that person that they've been in a relationship with. It's been that person that maybe died. It's been that person that has betrayed them, that person that has disappointed them. But that partnership doesn't want to move forward. It's been ran its course. It's been the trigger that has happened. And even though the triggers happen, Scorpios still want to move forward in that person's world. Going against all that you've learned. You want to stay in that person's world. And you want to exert your energy in that person's world. I just was defining the cards. Let me try to make it make sense. The question is, how do you mend a broken heart? And I'm not getting to the answer to how to mend a broken heart. I'm getting the answer to why people don't have their hearts mended. Why people don't get their hearts mended. For you, Scorpio, you go against everything somebody try to tell you. Your friends can say, hey, they're not good for you. Hey, baby, they can say, baby, you need to go get some help. You know, somebody passed away. You need some grief counseling. You don't want to let it go. Many Scorpios are the kind that'll keep going to the, the mausoleum or what they call it, the graveyard, and sitting there all day and talking to a person and having a picture and constantly reflecting and not letting go. That's deep. You don't want to let go. See, keeping with the strange example I got of like a Scorpio that has lost somebody to death, or in death, I'll say, because it's a transition, in death. Not want to let them go. Constantly going to the mausoleum, graveyard, constantly looking at pictures, and kind of being obsessed. What the person that once was represents that this Seven of Wands energy reverting back to the Six of Wands, still trying to be a part of their life, still trying to have them be a part of your day, your life, your activities, a part of your regimen. It's not letting go. It's like not being able to emotionally disconnect. You know what I'm saying? And because you're not emotionally able to disconnect. You stay connected and you use your vital life energy to still in the land of the living to, again, just try to keep bringing something back that can't come back. I don't know how to say that any differently. And for a Scorpio that's, involved with a living person, of course, that maybe divorced you or ended a relationship or whatever the case may be, you're the kind of person that continues to, call, to text, to, it's also like this forceful energy of not wanting to let go. Remember, part of healing, mending a broken heart is finding out what you're good at. Remember earlier I was saying the message that I got about the purpose, one of the positive aspects, I'll say, to experiencing a broken heart is that it is a part of a time period that helps you master yourself, because you get into what you're good at, what you love, what brings you joy. That cooking, in the kitchen in the summertime, in the springtime, with the windows, with the wind blowing through the windows, and you cooking, you chopping, you baking, you smiling, and you listening to your music. You are mastering your culinary skills. You not doing that, Scorpio. That's what you're guilty of. That's something that you're not doing. You taking your energy and your time and still trying to be a part of that which is outdated. Wow, that's deep. And so you desire to force yourself into that person's life. You desire to force yourself into that person's life. You don't have no interest in literally mending your broken heart. That's deep. And or, let's see it like this. Someone who's significant to Scorpio or has an interest in Scorpio, you don't want to mend your heart. I mean, you prefer to try to force yourself into Scorpio's life any way you can, and instead of mending your heart. Definitely, y'all, not what I thought I was going to be reading. Definitely not what I thought I was going to be reading at all. Dog, shut up. I'm trying to move. Oh, God, Jesus, they're horrible, 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 horrible. I can't make professional videos no more, period. All right, Libra. Libra, this is supposed to be about how do you mend a broken heart. Let's see what comes up for you. Your motto is I balance. Let's see what's going on, Libra. Oh, my God. Not what I thought at all. Okay. Two from the top, one from the bottom. Two fell off the top, one fell off the bottom. Okay. Let's see. The first card, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse, pointing back to the Eight of Wands, returning. And it suggests talking about the active partnership that you've most recently been in. And remember, it reversed back into the Six of Wands. This is the same ones, right? Yep. And when it reversed back into the Six of Wands, it's talking about you pushing yourself into their day-to-day life one way or another, using your vital life as force energy to be involved in their life rather than going off and mastering yourself, because that's what this experience of heartbreak offers you. It's the ability to master yourself, to become proficient in your area of interest, and you're not taking it. You off behind somebody else being a groupie, or grieving over somebody that is not in this land anymore, or in this realm. The next card is the Three of Cups, and it's in reverse, pointing back to the Two of Cups. And the Three of Cups represents the small social group, your intimate surroundings and or environment, and all that's in it, all the people that are in it. It suggests that, it's like the company that you keep is erratic as well. It's erratic as well. I feel like I get it. That's crazy. Last card, Four of Wands. Libra, your motto is I balance. In reality, you are not balanced. When your heart is broken, you are far from balanced. Oh my God, you're not. One moment you are giving your energy over to that which is no more. It's no more. And you're not accepting that it's no more. But you keep trying to make it happen. You keep trying to put yourself in that circumstance or situation. If you're not there, then you're somewhere like in close proximity. You're somewhere in another like small social circle, or in another scene not too far away. And that scene is unstable and it's chaotic. Why? To you, this is like, have you ever experienced, or I guess you have to kind of experience for yourself, where you go into an environment and you don't feel like you fit? This is a Three of Cups energy. But you go and you try to make yourself be a part, to fit, to laugh, to giggle, to whatever the social circle doing. But you really don't want to be there, and you kind of nervous, jittery, undertone, sad, because that ain't where you want to be. You want to be, for Libra, with that thing that's outdated. It's gone. It's no more. You know what I'm saying? And then the Four of Wands talks about this energetic, your state of energetic stability, or your state of happiness and being content and things like that. And how you are on a roller coaster, right? You're imbalanced when it comes to heartbreak. And so remember, it is about, the question was supposed to be, and the answer supposed to be given to how do you mend a broken heart. But those are not the answers that I'm getting. The answers that I've been getting thus far from Libra to Pisces is that it does seem like humanity, or the people that create humanity, overall are emotionally wounded. And that makes sense. Because we have Chiron and I think in Aries. And it's about healing us, getting to this place, moving through this time period in the history of humanity in which we are slowly healing ourselves. Slowly healing ourselves. And so what I'm seeing is that we are basking in heartbreak. We are basking in misery willingly. But even though we're willing to do it, I don't think we're very conscious that we're doing it. I think it's a subconscious thing. And here, for you Libra, so far, and even you Libra, there's no difference. There's no difference. You are, what yours is really about is this imbalance of, the imbalance occurs is that you remember when I was going over my little, I don't know, talk about heartbreak, how you're supposed to find this place. You're supposed to get to this place where you got enough peace. You got this peace. You acquire peace so you can direct your energy in a way that's beneficial to you, uplifting to you. That's not what you're doing. You're not releasing. The whole thing is to accept. When I say accept the trigger, accept what happened, accept the loss, the breakup, the separation, the death, or whatever the trigger is, the disappointment, the letdown, accept, that means let it go. It's easier said than done, so you got to do the next steps. You're not even doing the first step. You're not doing the first step. You're not accepting it. You're not letting it go. It's easier said than done, so you got to do the rest of the steps. You go into another step without the intent of ever letting go of what once was. And because you have no intent, it's like you lacking integrity, or you faking this area. You faking it. You faking it. And remember, it go back to, remember I was talking about how my mama said when a person suffers heartbreak, it can take about a year for a person to heal, right? And so you have a choice at that time. You can say, I'm going to keep going back. I'm going to keep calling. I'm going to keep texting. I'm going to keep pity-patting. I'm going to keep going back down memory lane. And you don't have an end time, an end date for that pain. That pain just going to keep going on. It's just going to keep getting renewed and revitalized. See, this is Libra. Or you can, you can cut your losses. You can cut your, I got something in my throat. Hold on, y'all. I don't know what it is. Somebody trying to choke me up.
Just come and shut my face.
I appreciate it. Can you please give me some water? My throat just got really, really dry. Somebody probably on here trying to throw some voodoo and hex on me. Don't know they about to get it back tenfold. Not that cup. I might need it right now. Put it in something else.
Okay.
Okay. Libra got mad. Suck it up, Libra. You ain't the only one. Remember, 7.5 plus billion people in the world. You not alone. So, what was I saying? You get into this place where, again, you joining people, you going out, but you really aren't there. You're just waiting for the next opportunity to go back to that thing that's outdated. or you, so it's like you have no intent, and so you're going to, what I was going to say, I was saying before something started trying to choke me up, is that you're prolonging the pain. You're prolonging experience of being heartbroken. There is no end date or time for you. As long as you stay split, as long as you stay imbalanced, as long as you keep going over there meddling and playing and, you know, going back down memory lane and texting and calling and sexing with the exing and doing all that, no end. That pain will keep occurring. We have free will. It's completely up to you, Libra. All right. Next sign, Cancer. I'm trying to get them done, y'all. Okay, Cancer. All right, Cancer. You know this live stream is supposed to be about how to mend a broken heart, but so far it hasn't been about that. It actually is showing how we, people that create humanity, are really holding on to our heartbreak, our trauma, and our trauma. Your motto, Cancer, is I feel. I will be taking the card, 2 cards from the top, 1 from the bottom. Ah, 2 cards from the top, 1 from the bottom. Look at the heart. 2 from the top, 1 from the bottom. Just thought about that. Interesting. All right, Cancer. Woo. Let's see. We have the Strength card. All right. Being able to withstand the trigger. Being able to accept and appreciate heartbreak for what it is. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. To be able to accept heartbreak for what it is. And so, okay, what am I saying? It seems to me, and I love this. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me show the rest of the cards. I love it. Thank you, Cancer. Here is the Strength card. Then we have the Queen of Cups card. Then we have the Sun card for Cancer. The Strength card signifies that Cancers have the ability to accept things as they are. What is that old quote? When a person shows you a duck or quack like a duck, believe they're a duck. Cancer is accepting the trigger. They're accepting the loss of someone. They're accepting the repo of a car. They're accepting the loss of a job. They're accepting a breakup. They're accepting a death. It is what it is. I love it. The heartbreak comes. And it tells Cancer, hey, move on from this circumstance or situation. Let me minister to you. You know, higher self. Let me minister to you, Cancer. Let me help you get in that place where you are emotionally safe and secure and healed. Where by the time you get through with this process, you will have become a master at something that really resonates with you. This is what the Strength card suggests for Cancer. And we have the Queen of Cups here, which is representative, of course, for Cancer, as well as Scorpio and Pisces. And remember, this is a queen, so it's a feminine energy. It's receptive. And what is this Queen of Cups being receptive to? Is looking at the strength. It's looking at the probabilities, the possibilities, that which is possible, because you accept what is, what it is. You accept what it is. There are certain possibilities. And so far, in the course of this live stream, we discovered that the possibilities are, thank you so much. Tell Jake to hook me up too. And who's cooking and cooking what?
Nobody.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Can I yell? I'm about to yell.
Don't yell. The baby done did enough damage now. The possibility is, number one, you move that much closer to mastering your skills, your talents, because you're going to focus on yourself. Possibilities due to accepting what is that you immediately understand you are in a connection with divinity, and divinity is talking to you, guiding you, and re-educating you, and moving you to a place of comfort. These are the possibilities that Cancer recognizes immediately. Like, oh, okay, I'm on the bigger and better things. It's that kind of energy. The Queen of Cups understands what it means to, that having a time period to love on yourself. Understand what it means to be patient with yourself. See, that's what Cancer understands. This is this. Thank you, Cancer, because you saved this live stream. The question is, how do you mend a broken heart? And Cancer's right here saying this is how you do it. You accept what it is and you keep it moving. And understand that you are, there is divine timing and there is divine guidance on your side, and it's leading you. I love this, Cancer. And remember, your last card is the Sun card. Oh, your motto, Cancer, is I feel. And you feel okay. You feel like it's a new beginning. I love this. You feel renewed. You feel young. Can you imagine losing somebody in death? Can you imagine somebody breaking up with you and leaving you and or disappointing you or backstabbing you or betraying you? And you able to accept it for what it is. Say, okay, that was a signal that there's a new beginning in my life. Oh, thank you, Cancer, because that's what it's about. This Sun card say, Cancer say, when them kind of things happen, oh, this is a new beginning in my life. And it began to take the first steps to using that heartbreak to do what? Help guide them. Guide them to what? A new place, a safe place, a happier place, a more secure place, and a place that what? Cancer is much more skillful in an area of interest now than they were when they were in that old, outdated situation. I dig you, Cancer. All right. That's cool. Couple static. The next one is Gemini. Oh my God. Poor. Okay, Libra. Take your breath. Take your breath. All right, Gemini. See if you stay consistent with Cancer. Remember, this live stream was supposed to be about how to mend, answering the question about how to mend a broken heart. The majority of the live stream has actually shown that the majority of humanity is holding on to a heartbreak and so, from some form of trauma. Everything from actually Leo. Did I do Leo? I didn't do Leo. I done did something wrong. I done jumped like a mother sucker. Hold on, y'all. I done jumped like a mother sucker. Them kids, babies, Cancer. I did Sagittarius, Scorpio. I did Libra because Libra tried to choke me up. I jumped and did Cancer, so I still got to do Leo and Virgo, but I got Gemini up there. Okay. So Cancer began to talk about really healing. The steps to healing, so that's cool. And so let's see if you stay consistent with the flow of energy, Gemini. Your motto is, I think. Taking 2 cards from the top, 1 from the bottom. Let's see. And then after we finish you, Gemini, we're going to go back and do Virgo and Libra. I mean, Virgo and Leo and Virgo. I thought I was done. Wrong. 2 from the top, 1 from the bottom. Let's see what's going on. Let's hope. We have first the 4 of Cups, and the 4 of Cups represents your inner emotional state, Gemini. Where are you? Are you heartbroken? It's possible, because this live stream is about being heartbroken. But relative to heartbreak, where are you, like, on a spectrum? Are you severely shocked, traumatized, heartbroken? Or have you began your healing process? Have you began to mend a broken heart? And now you're just about there. Are you a Gemini that now wakes up and look around and you don't remember that person that broke your heart? You don't think about them every moment. You don't think about them every day. You don't go to sleep crying over them. Are you a Gemini that maybe lost somebody in death, and now you're accepting of their transition? and you wish them well and you got high hopes and you understand, I'll see you one day. I'll see you another day. Has someone betrayed you and now you gotten to the point where you're not as angry? You just accept them for who they are and you know how you got to do business with them from here on out. This 4 of Cups points to where you are as a unique Gemini on what? Your emotional level relative to what? Heartbreak. The next card is the 8 of Cups in reverse, pointing back to the 7 of Cups. The 8 of Cups talks about the inability to move away from something that you're emotionally invested in. You care too much. You're too involved. You're in too deep. And it points back to the 7 of Cups. You chose to be in a relationship, with a particular person. You were somebody's sister or aunt or cousin or husband or daddy or grandfather. You're invested. You're emotionally invested. And because you're so emotionally invested, you feel some type of way at this time. I don't know how I'm going to do this one. Because we got this whole scale of where you can be relative to heartbreak. Traumatized to the mended heart. Relative to somebody. Somebody that's significant in your life, Gemini. Your last card is the 9 of Wands in reverse. Yep, 9 of Wands in reverse, pointing back to the 8 of Wands. Now, the 9 of Wands talks about your active beliefs and your philosophies. It talks about what you've been taught and how it almost seems like what you've been taught has not stood the test of time. What you've been taught has not stood the test of time. This baby loud. Before the 9 of Wands is the 8 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands represents obsessive, compulsive, repetitive use of one's energy over and over again. Trying to push something. And it didn't stand the test of time. It didn't stand the test of time. It didn't stand the test of time. 8 and 4 is 12 is 3. It didn't stand the test of time. See, Gemini, you throwing me off because I want to say that this spread almost looks like the different stages that we go through when we're going through the healing process. And so keeping with your motto, I think it seems that Geminis are thinking, pondering the past, the process of like days gone by, loves gone by, loss of others. It's not actually like happening in the moment. It seems like the past. And how you might look, right away for me, I'm going to offer an example. Let's say you're a Gemini and you had a very significant relationship in your past. Right now, you may be in a lazy boy lounging, thinking about that partnership. It was the first part, the trigger, when that person may have broken up with you. That moment, that sudden, striking, traumatic, upsetting, confusing circumstance or situation. Gemini, how did you handle it? Each Gemini handled that moment differently. This was complicated, make it complicated for me. And then remember, not all heartbreak is triggered or brought on by somebody breaking up with them. Some Geminis got this call one day that their mother or father or sibling passed away. The sudden shock, the pain, the confusion, the heartbreak. How, Gemini, if that was your scenario, how did you respond to that circumstance and or situation? Your response, whichever Gemini you are, whatever scenario you had manifest in your life at some point in time in the past, you each responded to it, your scenarios differently. Complication. Some Gemini said, no, they didn't die. No, they didn't die. They couldn't have. And didn't even go to the hospital or the nursing home or the hospice because they couldn't believe it. They went on with life. They went to work and, called them, left a message on the phone. Just did not accept it. Possible emotional response, Another Gemini, when they heard that their spouse or mother or father or sibling passed or animal or whatever, that Gemini could have very well said, okay, maybe unexpectedly. It depends on the details associated with what happened, or I was expecting that, they have been battling cancer. Okay, this is what it is, and I'm happy, that their suffering is over, and after the suffering is over, you're heartbroken still, but I understand, that's what had to happen, and you move on and you started going through the healing process. Today, as you sit, you reflect upon that process, and you realize where you came from versus where you are now. Where you are now, you sit with a mended heart, and it becomes it's like you how can I say you what's the word I just want to right now, if you've already gone through the process, you look back and you smile and wonder that I did it. I made it through that disappointment. I made it through that death. I made it through that loss. I made it through losing my house or my car or whatever. I made it. I made it through, breast cancer, that, whatever the trauma, the trigger was for the heartbreak, you made it. You weathered the storm. You went through the trials and tribulations. You did all the steps. And today, you sit here and you marvel that you can be in a whole nother state of being. Now I'm about to cry, Gemini. I feel you. But then it's a Gemini on the other side of the spectrum. And that Gemini is sitting there heartbroken. They just got the call that someone passed. Or they just got the notice that they are being evicted, or they lost their house, or their car been stolen, or whatever the case may be, that somebody broke up with them, found that the significant other was cheating. Gemini just found out. And it's been triggered. That trigger has occurred. The heartbreak has begun. And at this time, Gemini might be, I don't know where you are, you're a unique Gemini. But you could be a Gemini that right now can't hear divinity talking to you, or your higher self trying to talk to you. Because remember, heartbreak is an experience in which you're immediately connected to God, and God, or your higher self, begins to speak, to minister, and to minister to you and test it. That was another word, but we minister to you in order to help you move to a safer place, a happy place, a more fulfilling place, and also a place by the time you get there, you have become masterful and proficient in what is your interest, your skill, and or talent. You're there, so you can't see none of that. All you see, all you feel, all you know is the trigger, the trauma, the pain. And many Geminis may be very well sitting where they are today, right here, right now. Wonder how can they live through the pain? How can they not call that ex? How can they not reminisce about the past? Some Geminis, and I know this is wrong for YouTubers, wonder, how can I not kill myself? If you're a Gemini in that state, I ask you to call up 911 or the suicide hotline, get some help, because understand this is a temporary state. And going back to the 5 steps to healing, one of the steps is to understand what being a broken heart is. A broken heart is a alarm to say, hey, it's something that is outdated in your life, doesn't resonate with you anymore. It's God connecting directly to you like emergency hotline saying, let me move you from where you are to where you need to be successfully. Take my hand, let's go. But many times we cannot hear. We accept, we're like, did you hook me up? Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you. Tell that baby I said be quiet. She keep
downstairs?
Yes, is she screaming, howling, crying? What is she doing?
All of them.
Or doing a monster?
She doing all of them.
Tell her her grandma crazy. Her grandma made the baby crazy. We be running around here hollering. We don't have no indoor voices over here. We turn up and highly creative. So y'all, I'm sorry. Let me get back to Gemini. So Gemini, let me try to end yours because I was really getting passionate about it. Your motto again is I think. And what you are thinking about is where you are along the spectrum of heartbreak. If you are currently heartbroken, you're trying to figure out how you can live another day. And I'm here to tell you, you can. I ask you to rewind this video, watch the whole video. I'm asking you to put you some Al Green on and let Reverend Al Green minister to you. Listen to the song, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Listen to it, put it on repeat, and listen to it over and over again. Believe me, you can make it. Remember, you're not, put this thing, whatever it is, that was your trigger to lead you to heartbreak in perspective. You are not alone. There are 7.5 plus billion people in the world. How many of those people do you think are suffering from heartbreak from one experience or the other? Just remember, you are not alone. And remember that you can heal. My mama told me on average it could take a year. Yes, a whole year. But time is, they say not linear. Don't worry about it. Just start walking, taking the steps necessary, the 5 steps. Go back in this video, find the 5 steps to begin to mend a broken heart. You can make it. You can get over there to the other side where other Geminis are that have gone through the trial, the tribulation, the heartbreak that once sat in your seat. But today they sit and marvel and look at how they overcame what they thought was an impossible task. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully I made that make sense. So go ahead, Gemini. Don't give up on us. You can heal and will. Yeah. Put a time cap on heartbreak. Put the time cap on heartbreak by beginning to do what? Take one step at a time to healing. Okay, now I got to go back because I think I jumped over and I did not do Virgo. I don't know how I did that. Number one, I was rushing. Because I really don't... Excuse me. Yeah, I did. I couldn't handle it. If I did, they getting a double one because I really don't remember it. Unless I just zoned out. I don't know. Sometimes I zone out. That's a whole nother thing. We ain't going to talk about that. We're just going to keep it moving. How do you mend a broken heart? Let's see what the tarot has to offer relative to Virgo. Virgo, your motto is I analyze. I'm taking 2 cards from the top and 1 from the bottom. Let's see what's going on for you. Well, 2 had jumped out, so I'm going to take them right back off. And 1 from the bottom, because they sure enough jumped out in my lap. We have the Justice card. Is it fair? Is it fair? Now, I think of the Justice card from actual legal perspective. The Justice card, it looks to me as a judge sitting on a bench. And the judge is making their judgment. You know, and in order for the judge to make a judgment, it's just the judge is looking at all the evidence that's been presented by both sides or all parties. And then the justice, the justice of peace or whatever you call it, makes the most fair decision based on the evidence. And so we have here that there is someone who has authority, who has excellent decision-making skills, who is really a listener, that kind of thing is the energy that I'm getting. The next card is the Seven of Wands. It's been out today, I think, a couple of times. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands represents partnership. And what partnership am I talking about here? I think the Seven of Wands represents the parties associated with a case, a life scenario relative to Virgo. What am I saying? I'm saying, Virgo, you have, you know how, what is his name? We talked about him. Who said it? Shakespeare. All of life is a play. Your play, your script has a certain plot, and there's certain characters in your play, in your life. You know those people as who you know them as. Virgo, example, whoever your husband is. You know how they look, you know their name. Or your wife, you know how they look, you know their name. Grandparents, mom, dad, cousin. You know everybody. You know all the characters and the various roles they play. And so, I'm trying to get this. So this Seven of Wands represents all of these characters in the play, including you with the Seven of Wands. And you it's like you're the, let me read the card. Last card, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Ace of Pentacles in reverse suggests that there is not the opportunity, it's not the time, to begin a new project, to manifest something new in your life, to build something, to maintain something, to bring something to existence. An example, to heal something. So we're talking about, how do you mend a broken heart? How do you mend a broken heart? And it's saying with the Ace of Pentacles, if the goal, this is Pentacles, if the goal is to mend a broken heart, not mend, if the goal is, let's see, it can be the goal to end a broken heart, or it can be the goal is to, I'm going to say the trigger, to influence the trigger that leads to the broken heart. One of the two. Let me try to see if I can reword that. Virgo, either it is not your, you don't have the option. You don't have the option to either change the trigger, or that thing that you don't want, the heartbreak, the death you don't want. You don't have the power to change that. Like that. Or, I got to read the cards in relation to it. You don't have the power to mend a broken heart, your broken heart. Or you can't mend another's broken heart. Remember, the card before this Ace of Pentacles is the Seven of Wands. Yep, Seven of Wands. The partnership. And having to defend yourself against the other. Defend yourself against the other. And I want to say, the scenario that seems to fit here for you, Virgo, is coming to understand, being clear that you don't have the power to change what has happened. That which is outside of your power. You can't change if a person doesn't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. You can't change if someone dies or is dying. You can't change certain circumstances and or situations and or life experiences. You don't have the authority to do so. It's not an option. And the Justice card, remember, is a major arcana card. So the major arcana card can talk about when divinity speaks to us or something higher than ourselves speak. And so with that being said, the law has spoken. You know, everybody has free will. You can't manipulate them, is what it's saying, Virgo. So as I went back, y'all see I made a mistake and I missed Virgo and Leo and jumped to Cancer. Now, prior to, getting down to Cancer, it was talking about how we don't want to heal. We don't want to heal. And so I had to go back up to where I jumped from by mistake, and it went right back. Y'all see that? I hope y'all noticed that. It went right back to the part about not wanting our broken hearts to heal, or not being willing to allow our broken hearts to be healed. This is talking about a person, Virgo, you're a representative of a person who wants to change a person's mind. You want to change the scenario. You really want to not have it happen. You actually want to change a person's mindset. You want to change their mind, like they don't want to break up with you. You want to, if a person, example, is dying, you want to not let death happen. Or if a person dies, you want to reverse death, that kind of thing. I'm talking about extreme things here. And see, that's where the Justice card talks about. This is the law. A law, like the law of death, outranks you. It outranks us all. You know what I'm saying? But you are a representative of a person that want to outrank death. A person's free will and their own personal decision making outranks yours. You want to outrank them. You don't want it to be like that. And it's saying you don't have the capability. And so, keeping with your model is I analyze. When it comes to a broken heart, you are coming to this awareness. It almost seems like you didn't know that, Virgo. Where you try desperately. And I kind of feel like a person that goes see a voodoo priestess, or burn candles, perform magic or rituals in order to try to bend the natural energies and natural flow of this realm in your favor. And anyway, you're at this place where you are now analyzing all the evidence you've accumulated over your life. As an example, you accumulated evidence from like burning candles, going to the voodoo dolls, trying to bend the natural laws in your favor. Over time, however you did it, you now have learned, you now gathered enough evidence to analyze, to see that you don't have the power, that you don't have the option to change or manipulate certain things because they are like part of nature. Hopefully that makes sense to you. You say, is that possible? Yes. But people, if you gonna start getting over in that to change energy, yes, you can manipulate energies, but a lot of people don't mess with that because it's the unwinding effect that can have what they call it when a gun go off, the kickback. You can have a kickback on you, real bad kickback, real bad kickback. So I wouldn't, as many won't. I won't suggest that. I'm gonna give you an example though. I don't suggest that you do, but to have an example of a practice of very simple practice to, you say, manipulating energies in one's favor. Have you ever heard the quote? This is a quote. What's the kickback? It can be anything that, because you got to remember. Okay, Virgo, this is not about you. Let me turn this off. I'll turn it back on. This is, remember, we live in a realm that is already, it has its instructions and rules. So everything knows what to do. The sun knows when to come up in the east and set in the west. The moon knows when to come up in the east and set in the west. It knows what portals to move through, in and out, to create the seasons. We know the trees know when to sprout their seedlings and leaves, and then they know when to wither up and die in the winter. We are in a self-contained ecosystem that is on like an automatic function. And so when a person moves those energies, has the power to move those elements or bend them somewhat in order to have it favor them or benefit them, when it come back, all of those energies, everything, remember, is relative, it's interconnected and linked in some way. Eventually, it can, when it come back, that swing back, pow, can get you. And if it don't get you, this is the part I don't like and I don't agree with, it can get people that are close to you, pow, when it come back. Because it's just like winding something up. After it's been wound up so long, if I don't nothing keep it in place, that tension to build, and when it come back, bow, it'll hit you. That's the kickback I'm talking about. But we're talking about energies. We're talking about energies. And remember, everything is energy. I know y'all done heard that everything is energy. Everything is interlinked one way or another. And so, say you're able to move energy in your favor. I'm gonna give you an example. I would suggest that you don't do it, but I'm just gonna give you an example, a simple example, so you understand what I'm talking about right now. If a person wants to, how can I say this? My astrological alignment shows my strengths and weaknesses. Let's say I have some weaknesses that I don't like and I don't agree with. And I say I want to do something about it. So I go get a standard deck, you can say a playing cards, that has 4 suits. It's the hearts, it's the spades, it's the clubs, and the diamonds. You know, each one of those suits stands for an element. Earth, water, air, and fire. Each number stands for an aspect in a person's life. So I don't think I asked the question. Have you ever heard of the statement, stack the cards in your favor? Stack the cards, talking about a standard deck of playing cards, in your favor. That is an example of a person moving to influence the elements and energies in their favor. I don't know if it made sense. So hopefully you understood. Okay. Alright. Here we are, and welcome here to Can Angels Fly. How you doing? I think I've seen you before. Okay. So Virgo, I don't put the cards up now, Virgo, but who was it? I can't remember, Virgo. I must start shuffling the cards, so I must have been done with you. Oh, you the one that want to change stuff, stacking the cards in your favor. You want to make the changes, the things you have. No, you ain't got no. You don't even have the power to do dealings with it. And as long as that's a very arrogant. Even with the example I gave, that's a very arrogant state to be in, and it's totally counterproductive to healing a broken heart. And yes, that makes sense to me based on the progression of the zodiac signs, because I've been reading from Pisces backwards. I made a mistake and jumped and did not read for you and Leo and went to Cancer. And I got so excited about Cancer because Cancer started finally lining up with the actual question. I had to go back to cover y'all, and it went back. Talking about how we don't want to heal. And so that was you. And so you're in this place of analyzing that about yourself now, Virgo, which I'll say is a really great step, especially on the spiritual level. It seems to me that you may very well begin to humble yourself. So the next card is Leo. That's a card, next sign. Zodiac sign is Leo. Okay. Oh gosh, I'm trying to go faster. I did Gemini. Gemini, what was yours about? You don't know where you are along the you looking at where you are along the spectrum. Okay, and I just did Virgo. Okay, so okay. All right, Leo. Leo, your motto is I will. Let's see what's going on for you. I'm going to take 2 cards from the top, 1 from the bottom. The question is, how do you mend a broken heart? Six of Pentacles. 6 represents your day-to-day routine, all that you do to satisfy the demands of life, the demands of man, demands of God, hoping you can open up some time for yourself, free some time for yourself. Makes sense already? How do you mend a broken heart? Makes sense. They line up with the 5 steps to mending a broken heart. Well, the 6 of Pentacles, remember, represents your day-to-day routine, your agenda, all that you got to do. Remember, which step was it? Which step was it to mending your broken heart? To the process of mending your broken heart. It says, what's so special about your step 5? It's step 5. And it talked about, hey, partaking and enjoying your interests and your hobbies, whether it's cooking, writing, music, dancing. You have the potential to be a master. A part of mending a broken heart is reaching your highest level of mastery, or taking you to the next step in your evolution to mastery. This is the 6 of Pentacles, talking about that day. What you gonna do with the day? Are you gonna sit around and soak? Are you gonna take that time, the day? Because you know this is the church religion. This is the day that the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. Let's say, take advantage of the day. So what are you gonna do with the day? Are you going to spend it soaking? Are you going to spend it chasing the ex, or texting the ex, calling the ex? Are you going to spend it fighting and cussing? Are you going to spend it trying to change something that has become into something that you hope it could be that can never be again? Are you going to spend your time grieving? What you going to do? What you going to do with the 6 of Pentacles? It's saying here, what you put out is what you get back. What you put out is what you get back. This is the Page of Pentacles. It suggests for you, Leo, you are young. You feel renewed. You feel free. You feel like this is the optimal time to get something started. And what? You can't make this stuff up. I'm getting so excited. Here's the 8 of Pentacles. Remember, heartbreak is a process. And like the end result of this process is you hitting a level of mastery, skill, and proficiency relative to your abilities, your hobbies. You know, did I say talents? I don't know if I said it right. I got so excited. But that's what 8 of Pentacles is. It's about being, remember, it's obsessive compulsive. It said, hey, when you're going through this heartbreak thing, it says redirect your energy on what you love. If you love cooking, get in the kitchen. Let the windows up. Let the spring and summer air blow through while you chopping, you cooking, and you whipping, and you doing, and you decorating, and you doing your thing. You in your zone. You riding the wave. You becoming a master. You learning the flavor of every spice and seasoning and things like that. And ain't no space for misery. Ain't no space for, heartbreak. Ain't no space for not feeling good or not being happy or ain't no space, because you in your zone doing your thing, whatever your thing is. And I love this, Leo. And this is how you mend a broken heart. And this is so crazy that this came at this point in time. Because Leo, you correspond with the heart. You correspond with the heart. And oh man, Leo represents, the 5th house is about being an entrepreneur. It is about your fabulous self-expression. And this is about the refining of your fabulous self-expression through that which is your skill, or which is your skill. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Your skill, your talent, the hobby, your interest, all this lined up so beautifully. Beautifully. Absolutely. Absolutely, Leo. How do you mend a broken heart? Ooh. These all came up Pentacles. 8, 6. This is, right, 8 and 6. 14 plus 1 is, no, I ain't got, hold on, put my glass on. Hello, Moon, Leo, and Venus. That's 8 and 6 is 14 plus 1 more, 15, 6. The 6, it go back to the 6. It started with the 6 of Pentacles. It really points to how you spend your day. And what you put out is what you get back. And these cards are saying, Leo, for you, and what you represent, is saying if you put the effort toward healing, you will be healed. There is a time limit for the heartbreak. It suggests You know, if you put the effort forward to refine your skills, talents, and abilities, it will be so. You will be a master. And then there's the negative expression, of course, of Leo. If you decide to invest your vital life force energy in pursuit of that which is over, that is ended, that is, you know, it can do no more for you, you will render the relevant or the corresponding results, which is nothing, the end. Zero, zip, and more heartbreak. There won't be a time limit. So, go for it, Leo. You said you will. Your motto is I will. And so, you know, I can feel that. With the heartbreak, it's like, Leo, you really, like, in tune with how heartbreak opens up that direct channel. I've been trying to think of that word all this time. Direct channel or connection with divinity or your higher self. And you let that help you. And you know, at some point in time, you got to stand up and walk on your feet. That lines up in your mouth. Be like, I'm going to will myself. Yes, it hurt. But I'm going to will myself to keep going. I'm going to will myself into this next step toward mending my broken heart. And soon and very soon, I will be here. I will be at this level of mastery. I will be at this place where my broken heart has been mended. Love it. Love it. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. What made me cry this reading. All right, on to more. Oh, I gotta change the name. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I never expected this, what I'm getting in this reading. Oh my God. Never expected it. And that, them Libras got mad at me. Don't get mad at me, Libra, because it's up here telling the truth. I've been there too. You can do it. It's gonna be okay. Ooh-wee, that makes sense now. Ooh-wee. Ooh, it's a little bit more to this message that I'm going to add at the end, and it makes sense now why that part was added. Okay. All right. All right. Taurus. Taurus, your motto is I have. I'm going to take 2 cards from the top and 1 from the bottom. Let's see. I ain't going to take that out. 1, 2. 1 from the bottom. 1, 2. It came out anyway. Okay. Came out anyway. Okay. The question is, how do you mend a broken heart? I'm expecting a certain answer revolve around actually answering that based on, you know, the way I've read the cards from Pisces to moving backwards. And we have the Judgment card here for you, Taurus. It's in reverse. And the Judgment card talks about, okay, you got to live life. You got to live and learn. Live and learn. Live and learn. You know, it's not time for you to make a decision. It's feel like it's ongoing to me. It's just ongoing. You know, how can I say it? We move through different phases in life. And so do you ever, like, really make a decision? To me, I might be kind of jumping the gun about something. Do you ever really make a decision, a final decision about something? Because you're constantly moving through life, through the years. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know even how this is going to be. Certain circumstances or situations can crop up at other times in your life where you may have made a decision about it back here. Oh, I think I'm getting it. But the decision you have to make now could be different. Let's see. We have the Queen of Cups has reoccurred. She's in reverse. And the Queen of Cups in reverse is, of course, a representative for our water signs, which are Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpios. You know that the Queen of Cups is a receptive energy, so it's always paying attention to the environment, to the circumstance, to the situation, to the people. She's empathetic. She feels things. She senses it. Highly sensitive and highly intuitive. However, she's in reverse. Therefore, this energy can display some negative qualities. Yes, intuitive, but uses that upper hand to uses that information to give her or him the upper hand. Uses that information to give him or her the upper hand. The next card in your final card, Taurus, is the Ten of Swords in reverse, pointing back to the Nine of Swords. How do you heal a broken heart? This is going to make me cry. You know, immediately when I started reading the cards, Taurus, the first card, led me to believe it was about a person's whole life. And in a person's whole life, a person may fall in love. I don't know. It varies depending on who you are. But let's say, hypothetically, case scenario, let's say, we'll say maybe about 3 times in life, major fall in love scenarios where you in love and you feel like you can't live without them. Have you ever had this happen? Where you had that early love, that first love, I don't know, 14 to 17 or whatever. And when the heart broke for whatever the trigger was, you felt like you couldn't live without them. You really start going through the negative experience of heartbreak. And then somehow, some way, that year passed that my mom talked about, and you healed. You're like, what was wrong with me? I ain't gonna never let that happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I done did that. I'm glitching. I ain't never did that. You know, what was that? That shouldn't have been nothing. I'll never let that happen to me. I know it can happen now. It can exist. So I'm going to watch myself. Some years pass. Maybe another 10, 12 years pass. Now you're about in your 20s, 22, 25. You meet the most awesome person ever. And you fall in love again. This is for you, Taurus. You're representative for this kind of energy. And you fall in love again. And you be like, okay, well, I'm more conscious now. I'm more aware. This Queen of Cups in Virgo, I'm more conscious now. You a little more on guard. And you in love, and you soon forget the potential pain if it fails. And hot dog, it fails. Or whatever. A trigger happens to bring about heartbreak. Whether that person break up with you, they cheat on you, they die, they betray you, it happened again, and you just as hurt as you were the first time. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. You be like, God dang, I said I ain't gonna ever be in this situation again. And you have to work through. It's like understanding, you end up having the healing process for each one of those heartbreaks is fresh. It is new. The only thing that you're aware of the second time around is that it's possible. You knew that it was a possibility. But love was worth, or the attachment was worth the risk. It was the hope. And so anyway, it's like that second time, you're like, oh my God, you don't know how you're going to get over that person, that circumstance, that situation. You don't know how you're going crazy, you're depressed, you feel like you're going to die, you're sick, you're hurt, or whatever you go through, you eat too much, Haagen-Dazs, whatever. The day come, that year that my mama told me about, and you forget all about it. You was like, what was I thinking about? That mother sucker didn't look like anyway. You start talking about them as an example, but you get over it. That's my point. You were like, I ain't never going to let that happen to me again. I said that once, I mean it this time. Another 10 to 15 years pass. Now you're in your late 30s and 40s, and out of nowhere, you meet the one. You meet the one. And now you scared less because you done had your heart broke twice. Severe. Thought you was going to die. But you can't help it. You don't give up in love. And you fall in love. And you're in love with that one. The twin flame soulmate, I be like to label them, they the one. And hot dang. If it look bad. No, it ain't my love. But if, by chance that one, the trigger happens, whether it's death or a breakup, they cheat on you, betray you, let you down, disappoint you, whatever. You're right back experiencing heartbreak all over again. It almost seems like there's no set of rules for how to get over heartbreak. Yes, I gave you 5 steps to overcoming heartbreak, and those steps stand true no matter when it happens. So let me rephrase what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, heartbreak cannot be, what's the word? Heartbreak cannot be avoided. It can't be avoided. And Taurus, you represent, your energy represents that. Heartbreak cannot be avoided. It is a part of the human condition. It is a built-in tool that helps us, to keep moving forward, to keep advancing, to not get stuck, to let go of the old, and to move forth toward the new, to achieve our best selves, to help us cultivate our best selves. So what am I saying? I'm saying heartbreak cannot be avoided at all. It cannot be. And the process, I have to say, does consist of them 5 steps every time. But it's getting to that place where you can actually listen to divinity or your higher self minister to you to get you on the right path to mending a broken heart, and to this place where you can, like Leo, will yourself on through that journey to the point of mastery. So hopefully I made that make sense towards that. Kind of tickled me right there. That's funny. That's funny when you fall in love. You're like, I ain't never fallen in love no more. And hot dang it, if you be in love more intensely than before, or you love a person for different things or different reasons, but you just equally as emotionally invested as you were with the person you couldn't get over 10 years prior or 20 years prior. That's just so interesting. Okay, hopefully that made sense. Oh, your motto, Taurus, is I have. Let's see. Keeping with your motto, you have what? You got a life full of heartbreak. That's what I'm gonna leave it just like that. Taurus, your motto is I have. Keeping with the theme here, you have a life, or you will have a life full of heartbreak. And it is wonderful because it's serving a purpose, if I'm articulating what I'm seeing correctly. That just tickles me. Okay, y'all. I'm going to stop lollygagging. Y'all done played on this here YouTube thing with me. Hopefully, I hope it don't glitch real bad. Correct. Aries. Okay. Aries, last but not least, this live stream was supposed to be about how do you mend a broken heart. What we end up finding out is that humanity is really having a hard time moving to mend their broken hearts. It's a real challenge. And then we are also finding out answers to how do you mend a broken heart. And for you, Aries, your motto is I am. I'm going to shuffle the cards, and I'm going to pull a card from the top and the bottom. And then I'll do my little closing statements about what happens when a person's heart is not mended in the appropriate way. And I'll go into it in a little bit. Okay. Okay, 2 from the top, Aries, and 1 from the bottom. The 10 of Swords has returned, and it's in reverse, pointing back to the 9 of Swords. Something that you believe in has hurt you. You believe in something. Whether it's a social exchange, an idea, a thought. You may have communicated something, and the rebuttal wasn't what you wanted to hear, and it hurt you. And I do believe that this 10 of Swords in reverse, pointing back to this 9 of Swords, represents that trigger that leads to heartbreak. The trigger that leads to heartbreak. That's what the 10 of Swords in reverse represents. And the next card is the Ace of Wands. It's the inability to move forward on an aim, a passion, and or desire. This is so interesting. I am so disappointed. Not me. You, Aries. Remember, your motto is I am. And what you believed in has hurt you. Ace of Wands following can't move forward on an aim, a passion, or desire, or something that is inspiring to you. The Queen, not the Queen, not the High Priestess, what her name? The Empress in reverse represents a lack of abundance, fertility, fruit. There's no growth. And so this is an interesting ending to this particular tarot reading, because Aries, it suggests that relative to you mending a broken heart, a lot of Aries and people dealing with this energy are confronted with mending a broken heart relative to something that never got started. Just never got started. It's like you meet somebody and you got some high hopes that, you know, hey, this is the one, or it's potential, or we're going to date, and it ends up going nowhere. You know, it just ends up going nowhere. This is for people that like have one night stands. Ooh, I'm going to put it down on them. Or you done had a one night stand, you think you're going to put it down on them. It's going somewhere, never hear from them again. And it's that broken heartedness, and the regret or the guilt, almost like about moving too fast in life. It's like, because you believe something, you had already imagined it in your head, you already lived it out, made it happen, and you're well further than and well further advanced than the real reality sitting before you. You'd imagined a whole nother world. And so you may have behaved inappropriately, irrational, recklessly in some way. That lines up with Aries. And so I feel like your motto relative to being broke, how do you mend a broken heart? It says the first and foremost thing, which you represent, Aries, is thinking things through first. The first thing is really accepting, understanding, like even when you get into something. See, that wasn't a part of this. It's like when an opportunity opens up for you in life, you got to kind of foresee the different possible scenarios that can occur. Example, if you're Aries that meets someone and thinks, hey, if I have a sexual relationship with them right away, then, it increases the chances of us being in a attachment or connection for a long period of time. If that's your scenario and that's the only one you got to depend on, and so you envision that scenario plays out the way you see it, but you fail to see there are other relative scenarios. Like, example, if I, Aries, sleep with someone, one night stand, quick, whatever, chances is I never see him again. Chances are I get some venereal disease, AIDS, get pregnant, whatever the case may be, and I might not see him no more. Or maybe tomorrow I find out they got a significant other. Maybe I find out they're a player. So many different scenarios. But you know what I'm saying? So, Aries seems to be guilty of jumping the gun. And it leads to, which is the trigger to the event that occurs to lead to heartbreak, or which is probably disappointment or something like that, or some form of regret. It's saying you have to have forethought. You got to slow down so you can catch up. You got to have forethought. You got to foresee the probable scenarios that could play out based on what decisions you make. Your motto is I am. And I get it. I am you, Aries. You are the initial step. I say, there's 5 steps to mending the heart. But you are the step. It's a step prior. It's the initial choice. You're even before the 5 steps. It's the initial choice. The choice that you make, Aries, or a person that, is executing the Aries energy. The choice that you make ultimately determines what will happen in your future. If you never decide to date that person, then all scenarios relative to them disappear. You know what I'm saying? And so does the heartbreak. Oh, stop it now, spirit. No, don't stop it. I mean it. Great work. I wish I could do better. Bye. You know, it all disappears. And so it's talking about making conscious decisions. Well thought out decisions. There are certain things in this life that we cannot control. Like other people's actions or decisions. Death. Certain things we can't control. But some things we can control. That's what you represent, Aries. You are the energy that represents that we have an initial choice and that we make initial decisions. And based on those decisions, if we can make the best decisions, oh, I love this. We can make the best decisions we possibly can. For some parts of our experiences won't ever meet with heartbreak in that area. But for those things, those situations, those unforeseen situations, those sudden Uranian situations that are shocking to our system, that can be traumatic, that we couldn't foresee, that happen anyway, at least you won't have any regrets. No regrets. Because you thought it through. You knew the risk you were taking. You know? And so that's what you represent, Aries. Your motto, again, I am. You are a representative of the initial choice that each and every person gets to make about their along their life path. That's what I'll say, along their life path. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for coming here and allowing me to read the tarot cards for you. Hopefully that made sense. At this time, I'm going to again submit my personal plugs to you, and then I want to go into this final phase of this particular live stream. If I can find it, y'all. Okay. This might be it. I don't know. Okay. This might be it. I don't even know. I'm Nancy, and this is Can Angels Fly Tarot and More. I invite you to order your own personal tarot reading. You can do so by contacting me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. Actually, my email is below this live stream and any other live stream and or video I've made. And also the instructions are there to how to order your own personal video. Own personal tarot reading. I ask you, if you enjoyed this content, to click the like button. I ask you to share my channel with others. And if you haven't, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. Once subscribed to my channel, please click the bell so you'll be notified when I go live and or upload a video. Thank you so very much. Oh, I might as well mention this. Why not? If you're interested in supporting me, my work, and my channel, you can do so by Cash Apping me. My Cash App link is $Can Angels Fly Tarot. Okay. Alright, closing this video out. We've been talking about how can you mend a broken heart. And y'all have to take this opportunity because I just love this song and I want to read the lyrics to it again before I close out. And it is Al Green's song, and How Can You Mend a Broken Heart. The lyrics read as this. I can think of younger days when living for my life was everything a man could want to do. I could never see tomorrow, but I was never told about the sorrow. And how can you mend a broken heart? How can you stop the rain from falling down? How can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go around? How can you mend this broken man? How can a loser ever win? Please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again. Okay, y'all. All right, now closing this live stream up, I want to talk about what happens to a person who heart mends improperly. It's like that person's heart ends up being infected with like anger, hatred, doubt, jealousy, frustration, sadness, shame, fear, grief, guilt, despair, and envy. And then there are so many more negative emotions that can end up manifesting in a person because their heart hasn't mended, it hasn't healed. The person hasn't forgave. They haven't done the work necessary to mend their broken heart. And so when a person gets to this place where their emotional state, I'll say, is infected with a negative emotions, it is like this hidden or obscure anguish for them. I don't know if you've ever been in that place. It's, it's best way I can say it's an obscure anguish. It's a sub or subliminal type of torture and torment that exists. It is unspoken, usually physically, visually not perceivable. I don't know the words to use. And that ongoing, that lingering anguish, a person suffers in silence. It's something that is quite unbearable. And in response to the anguish, to the torture, to the torment that's not really perceivable to the eye and also not spoken about, it's something that a person would move to try to soothe because it hurts. It's this numbing, ongoing hurt, this lack of fulfillment. It is this void of this emptiness, this state of dissatisfaction where all of these negative emotions sit. During the course of this live stream, doing this tarot reading, I discovered that humanity, the people that create humanity, are really having a hard time healing their broken hearts or mending their broken hearts. They're having hard time forgiving. They're having a hard time forgetting. They're having a hard time getting back to themselves into a healthy emotional state and to dealing with that which is hidden in the subconscious. We've been discovered that one. But here in the course of this live stream, this truth seems to have emerged that I know I wasn't aware of. And it makes sense because of how I can say people in humanity, how they conduct themselves in this life, how we interact with each other, is a result of hearts that are still broken and or improperly mended. And I just want to offer you just a couple of examples of a person trying to soothe that hidden anguish. That's trying to find some comfort in that void. Nowadays, people, especially, it's happening with both sexes, both genders, but primarily focused with women. Women that have suffered a heartbreak and it's been absolutely terrible get to this place where they are only after securing the bag. That's all that matters. Secure the bag. If I lose this person, this new person, if they trick me, if they lie to me, if they do anything, at least I can say, I done secured the bag. And I don't know exactly how to say this, but what I'm saying is that new terminology, that statement, securing the bag, is an example of the activities that people are doing as a direct result of past pains. Securing the bag is one of them. Another thing is, and I really don't have all the notes. There's a couple of little examples that when I was doing my meditation, it appeared to me exists now. As a result, another thing that it seems to be a direct result of past heartbreaks and hearts not being mended correctly, properly, is a person want to spill the tea. A person that's real messy and wanted to gossip and start and invoke strife and things like that. These are behaviors of people that are still brokenhearted, that are afraid, that are suffering this anguish that I speak of, that have this void within them. They're trying to fill it. Another thing that is becoming very common now, and it seems like it is also a sign of people that haven't mended a broken heart, is people's increased inability to be able to commit. To commit in relationships, to commit to partnerships, to commit to whatever you can commit to. It's very hard for people to commit and to be loyal. The last example that I like to offer is how at this point in time in the history of humanity, another thing that seems to be occurring relative to our hearts still being broken or not properly mended, and after dealing with so much anguish and being in that voided state, is people are changing their, what they say, sexual preferences. There are women, I'm just going to give an example to make what I'm saying clear. In my life, I have known women that were heterosexual, but after their heart had been broken and it didn't mend correctly, they didn't go through like the 5 steps I shared here in this video. They thought that they were safer with the same gender. And they would go to that gender, and then all of a sudden they announce that they're, gay or lesbian or whatever, and thought they were going to be secure. When I say they thought they were going to be secure, because after some time, just luck have it, that relationship broke down too. And they were maybe, caring about a person, and they felt betrayed. It was more in those cases that they felt betrayed. They felt disappointed. They were angry. They were mad. And plus they had chosen to become sexually interlinked with the same sex. So they were really, really insulted, the people that I've known. And so that's what I'm saying about how having a broken heart and not dealing with it in an appropriate manner, in a healthy manner, is becoming increasingly detrimental to humanity. As I said, when I did this tarot reading, I wasn't expecting the information that I got. I really wasn't. I was very shocked that it was showing just how humanity is not healing. In the course of this live stream, I said it now makes more sense to me than it has in the past. Why the astrological alignment exists with Chiron and Aries. And it talks about how we, each individual, we need to be healed. We need to be healed. And so I hope that this little live stream helps you heal, understanding healing, or get over healing, or whatever it can do for you. I just ask you to accept it if it helped you. Now I'm going to let y'all go down. As usual, it's been 3 hours. I've been on here running my mouth. I got such a long wind. Good night, y'all. Heal your heart. Gotta do